supply engineering course. The water supply engineering course, you will be learning how to supply water to individual houses in a municipality. The first unit is source of water. The topics covered in this video lecture are objective and planning of water supply scheme, water demand, factors affecting water demand, variations in water demand. The major sector that uses water are classified into four: domestic, industry, agri, and environmental. All the domestic usages and water used for institutions, water used for hospitals, commercial buildings, and general public toilets, public parks, market areas are all covered under domestic sector. And the second is the industrial sector. So the water used for industry, right from the raw material processing to the end product, are all covered under industrial sector. Third sector is agriculture. We know water what crop are to be irrigated for their growth and harvesting. So that is agriculture need. And the fourth sector is the environmental sector. It is mainly for the livestock. Livestock means all the cattle, that is animals, fishes, aquatic animals, all are covered under this environmental sector. So this paper aims only in the domestic sector. And we'll start up with the objective and planning of water supply scheme. So first, what is a water supply scheme? So water supply scheme is a project. It is a government project, aims to supply water to a city or a town or a municipality in general. So this scheme includes the approval process, the planning, then water withdrawal, treatment, supply, pipeline laying, construction work, etc., etc., etc. So it includes all the administration process as well as the water process. But this course deals only with the water process, so we will call it as water supply system. Okay. So the main aim of this system is two. One is to supply safe quality to the public, and second one is in adequate quantity to the public. So that is given you the brown color. To ensure supply of safe quality, this is the first objective, and adequate quantity is the second objective of water to the end users. End users are nothing but the public or the municipality in which we are going to supply water. Okay. So safe quality, the quality of water should be as per Indian standards. So we will discuss this Indian standard in the same unit later. And in adequate quantity. Planning for this water supply system. The first one is the water demand. So water demand, that is the first process or the first plan is to estimate the amount of water that is needed for a municipality. For example, if we take the amount of water to be supplied for a municipality, say consists of 3000 houses, is 1 lakh liters per day. Okay. So we have taken a small town of 3000 houses. Okay. So which demands water of 1 lakh liters for a single day. So this is the water demand. The second plan is water source. Now we have to find out a water body which will supply 1 lakh liter to that particular municipality in a single day. So this supply should be last for an entire year. So 365 days it has to supply 1 lakh liter of water to that particular town or a municipality. So if we take Chennai, so for Chennai the water resource comes from many sources like Chambrabagam Lake, Porur Lake, Viranam Lake, and many other small lakes around in Chennai. So if we can't able to find a single source, or if the single source is not adequate, then we have to go for 2 or more sources. Okay. So the second thing is source identification, and the third is intakes. Water intake are the structures that are constructed in the water body to withdraw water from the source. Okay. So the position of the intake and which type of intake should be constructed all comes under the water intake part. The fourth one is water quality. The water quality planning, that is, we have to check the quality of this source water. So what is the raw quality of the raw water? If the quality of raw water is not as per standard, then we have to give sufficient treatment before supplying it to the public. And the fourth one is spread of the uses. So once the water is treated, the treated water is stored in a tank, and then it is supplied by means of a network of pipes to individual houses. Okay. So this is hydraulic part. So where we are going to design the water tanks, and we are going to lay pipelines so that sufficient quantity of water reaches the individual houses of the public. So these are the different step-by-step plans of a water supply system. So elements of a water supply system are demand or quantity estimation, source selection, intake works, conveyance, treatment works, and distribution system. The first two, we will discuss this in the first unit. The intake works and conveyance in the second unit, treatment works in third and fourth unit, and distribution system in the fifth unit. Next, we are coming to the main part of water quantity estimation. That is, we are going to find out how much liters of water is to be supplied for a municipality. The quantity can be arrived by multiplying per capita water demand with population. You can see the last line, quantity is equal to per capita demand multiplied by population. So we will see the one by one per capita demand and the population. Need for estimating the water demand. So why we need to calculate this water demand? Because all the infrastructure, that is the intake structures, the treatment plant, capacity of the treatment plants, the water storage tanks, the pipelines are all depend on this water demand. So we have to exactly calculate, so what is the water demand for a particular city. So underestimation will lead to inadequate design, and overestimation will be uneconomical. So water demand for a city, while calculating this water demand for a city, we have to include demand for the public usage. So demand for the public usage means demand for a single house, for drinking, for their drinking purpose, for cooking purpose, bathing, washing of utensils, washing of clothes, washing of houses, washing of cars, gardening, toilets, etc. And this also includes water that is used in institution, water that is used in commercial buildings, water used in hospitals, water used in uh, public places like bus stands, railway stations, theaters, etc. So all these comes under uh, demand for civic or public usage. The second one includes fire demand. So whenever there is fire breakout, so we have to uh, put it off by means of water. So the amount of water needed for fire extinguishing is also, we have to include all this also into our account. And third category is compensating for water losses. It is estimated that 5 to 15% of the water which we supply to the public goes as a wastage, or it is lost, or it is theft. So we have to include this quantity also in the calculating the water demand. So the CPHCEO manual. So that is Central Public Health and Environmental Engineering Organization under the Ministry of Urban Development, New Delhi, has given the manual on water supply and treatment. So they have provided the guidelines that for an average Indian person should receive is 135 liters of water per day. The same has been given in IS 1172/1993 IS standard. So you can see here, for drinking 5 liters, for cooking 5 liters, for bathing 55 liters, washing of clothes 20 liters, washing of utensils 10 liters, washing and cleaning of houses and residence 10 liters, flushing of water closet, etc. 30 liters. So totally put up 135 liters per person for a single day. So this is called as LPCD, or it is called as per capita demand. So this tabular column gives you the water requirement for different public and commercial buildings. For example, if we see hostels, for hostels it is 135 liters per year, and for hospitals, so which have 100 beds, as the water demand of 340 per bed. So you can check with this tabular column, and this tabular column gives you about the railway stations, the amount of water that has to be supplied for the railway stations. And the fire demand, so fire demand as per IS 9668/1990 gives the guidelines of 1800 liters per minute for every 50,000 population. That is, if a city has a population of 1 lakh, then for 50,000 population 1800 liters. Therefore for 1 lakh population it is 1800 into 2, that is 3600 liters per minute of water is to be supplied for fire. And the CPHEO manual gives a simple formula, which is 100 into square root of P, where we have to substitute P in thousands. That is, if the population is 1 lakh, so 1 lakh means 1 and 5 zeros, so it is nothing but 100,000 population. So 100, so here we have to substitute 100 into square root of 100. That is, the total population 1 lakh divided by 1000 will give you 100. So 100 into square root of 100. So this is a simple formula that we can use for calculating the fire demand. Per capita water demand. Per capita water demand is the annual average amount of daily water required by a single person, which is equal to quantity required in 12 months divided by 365 divided by population. So this is the definition for per capita demand. Okay. So per capita demand is annual average amount of daily water required by a single person. The unit is LPCD, which is liters per capita per day. So hereafter we are going to use this unit. So water demand is expressed as LPCD. So 135 liters per capita per day. So 135 LPCD, 100 LPCD, 20 LPCD. Okay. So LPCD means liters per capita per day. That is amount of water required for a single person in a single day. So this is arrived by calculating the total annual requirement. So 1 year requirement for a single person divided by 365 gives you demand for a single day, and if you divide by total population of the city, then we can get the demand for a single person. So that is liters per capita per day. And this demand is not constant, it varies. It varies seasonally, it varies daily, and it varies hourly. The seasonal variation is, so in the rainy season we take less water, and in the summer season we use more water. In the same way, if there is any festival season, in that time we use more water. In the non-festival times we use less water. So these are the seasonal variation. And the second one is the daily variation. Daily variation means the working days we consume less water, and in the non-working days, that is weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, or any holidays, will consume more water. So it is the daily variation. And hourly variation. Hourly variation means, so during working hours, general working hours is 9 to 5. And during this 9 to 5, the water consumed in a house is generally very, very low. And other times, that is in the morning 6 to 9, and after 5 to 11, so the water usage may get varied. So it varies. It varies hourly. So the important thing you have to know is the this maximum daily demand. Maximum daily demand is nothing but 1.8 times of the average daily demand. So average daily demand is nothing but, so we have, so this formula. So generally the given value, so 135 LPCD, so this is the average daily demand. So maximum daily demand is obtained by multiplying 1.8 to the average daily demand. Okay. The second is maximum hourly demand or the peak demand. So it is nothing but 2.7 times of annual average hourly demand, or 1.5 times of average hourly demand. So average hourly demand is equal to maximum daily demand divided by 24 will give you, so a day divided by 24 hours will give you for a single hour. So that is given here, and maximum daily demand is equal to 1.8 times of average daily demand. So with this calculation you will arrive the maximum hourly demand or the peak demand as 2.7 times of annual average hourly demand. Next, the important term is coincident draft, so which is equal to maximum daily demand plus fire demand. So this combination is called as coincident draft. Why we need the maximum daily demand or peak demand or coincident draft? Because for Hourly variation influence the design of pumps and the service reservoir. So all the water distribution system and all the pumps are designed for the peak demand or maximum hourly demand, whereas the water treatment plants are designed for maximum daily demand. So you can see the third paragraph here. To meet all the fluctuation, the supply pipes, service reservoirs, distribution pipes must be properly proportioned. The water is supplied by pumping directly, and the pumps and distribution system must be designed to meet the peak demand. So all the distribution system, that is all the pipelines, the water storage tanks, all will be designed as per the peak demand, and the water treatment units will be designed as maximum daily demand. And the factors affecting per capita demand. The per capita demand, that is amount of water needed for a single person for a single day, depends on the size of the city. For example, like Chennai, like metropolitan cities, the amount of water needed will be very high, and it is moderate for cities like Vellore, and it will be very low in villages. So depending on the size of the city, the per capita demand varies. Second, the presence of industries. If there is industry, then we have to supply water for their sanitation as well. So if there is, so the water demand increases. Climatic condition. As seasonal variation, during the rainy season, we need less amount of water. So we have to include the climatic condition of that particular area, and then habits of people and their economic status. If they are economically wealthy, then they consume more amount of water. And quality of water. So we can see almost all houses buy water cans from the markets, or they have installed RO plants in their homes. So if the government municipality will supply good quality of water, then there is no need to buy all these water bottles and water cans. So if the quality of water we supply is good, then people will consume more amount of water. Then pressure in the distribution system. So if there is high pressure, then more amount of water will be pumped into your individual houses. If there is more amount of water, then people will tend to use more amount of water. Cost of water. So if the water is free, we will tend to use more water. If the water is charged, then we will use less quantity of water. Policy of metering and charging method. So if we have a similar situation of having meter reading as EB, so in the EB we will be having a meter to record our electricity consumption. So we will pay according to what we have consumed. So similar equation, if we have this for water also, so people will tend to use less amount of water than now they are using. Now there is a flat rate of water charges, so we are paying water tax for a year, so that is constant for a particular municipality irrespective of amount of water they are used. So if there is metering and charging process, people will tend to use less quantity of water. We'll end up this first video. In the second video, we will see how to forecast the population and problems in the next video. So if you have any doubt, or if you have any suggestion to improve this video lecture, you can give your suggestions in the comment box, or you can say it in your Google Classroom. Thank you.